Welcome back, Viral Crimes family, and welcome to another episode of Friend or Foe, the series where we examine cases involving trust, friendship, relationships, and betrayal. So tonight's story is about a 16-year-old girl. Her name is Kayla Rose Huff. This is Kayla right here. Kayla was affectionately called Kayla Bug by the people who loved her. Now, mind you, I just came across this case, didn't know anything about it. As you know, I started this series, Friends or Foe, because of the Nolan Wells case. I didn't want to just jump into his case because everything is unraveling now. There's a lot of rabbit holes. So I want to go over cases that have been solved. So he may be the last case that I do. So we're talking about Kayla. Kayla was 16. She was described as bright and outgoing. She enjoyed sports, animals, church, and spending time with her family. She was just a little girl. Let me see if I can find any more pictures of her. Oh, here she goes. That's Kayla Huff. She was reportedly last seen walking with her teenage boyfriend. Her family began searching. Law enforcement opened an investigation, and hundreds of people joined together, hoping to bring Kayla home safely. So, again, this is Friends or Foe. Who can we trust? Who can we really trust, you guys? But before we go any further, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a live from the Viral Crimes. 7 days later, they hoped that they would turn up with Kayla, but of course they didn't. Kayla was found unalived in a wooded area. Authorities have since arrested several people, including adults, who now face serious charges convicted in Kayla's alleged kidnapping and deletion. However, you guys, many details remain unclear and the motive has not been publicly confirmed. Now, I did go down this little rabbit hole myself because in the news, they're not really telling you like the real. So, of course, you get it from TikTok. So, went onto TikTok and I found out what really happened to this young lady. So, we're not going to get into that video yet. So, tonight we're asking some difficult questions. Who did Kayla trust? Who knew she was in danger? Could someone have intervened? This is the sad thing about it. She's around people that she let her guard down, people that she loved, people that she trusted. She had on rose petal glasses. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me see. Yeah, you can hear me. Okay. So yeah, she was with her friends. And when the person beside you appears to be a friend, how do you recognize when that person may actually be a foe? That's the scary part to me. I have young, well, not young anymore, but I had children that went through this friend. I went through a friend and foe, but I knew, like I truly knew twice, but I didn't act on it. So before we begin, please understand that the charges discussed tonight are allegations. Every defendant is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court, you guys. So right now, everything is allegedly. I'm not sure if they were convicted, but we're going to get into that too. So please keep Kayla and her family at the center of the conversation. This is not entertainment to them. This is their daughter, their sister, and someone that they will never stop loving. So let's begin with who Kayla was before she passed. Kayla Huff's family and community searched for her for days when she went missing at the beginning of May. Her body was tragically found in a central Missouri wooded area a week later. Now, 5 adults and a 17-year-old face accusations connected to her disappearance and her passing. Now, Kayla Huff was 16. She was born in Morbely, Missouri, was reported missing May 6 and found deleted on May 13 in Rudolph Bennett Conservation Area. Okay, you guys. These are the people here who are allegedly the ones that took her life from her. Her family called her Kayla Bug. She was 16, a sophomore at Morbely High School, a Black girl from Central Missouri who loved track, basketball, animals, and the youth group at her church. Her mother described her as a social butterfly. Now, what's interesting to me, I did come across a lot of videos of different people claiming to be her mother, claiming to be her father. There was this one African-American man who was screaming, "This is my only daughter," but yet her parents who was searching for her was Caucasian. And I saw her mom. So it was a lot going on. Allegedly, she may have been adopted or a foster child. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. So on the morning of May 6th, she went missing. Court filings allege that she was last seen with her 17-year-old boyfriend. They won't disclose his name because he is underage. Her parents reported her missing immediately. For the next week, hundreds of people searched for her across the Rudolph Bennett Conservation Area. It was a 3,575-acre stretch of land in central Missouri. Family members, school staff, volunteers, and police joined the search using drones, boats, horseback teams, side-by-side vehicles, and private helicopters to locate the missing teenager. I'm going to get into, I think we're going to watch this short video that I have. I did find this on TikTok and it was really interesting to me. So I think I'm going to play this right now.
Authorities in Randolph County, Missouri say the body of 16-year-old Kayla Huff, who has been missing since May 6, 2026, has been recovered, bringing a multi-day search to a close, confirming the case is being investigated as a homicide. The Randolph County Sheriff's Office announced her death early Thursday morning. Sheriff Andy Baggs extended condolences condolences to Kayla's family and acknowledged the toll the case had taken on investigators, emergency responders, and community members who assisted in this search effort for her. For those unfamiliar with this case, Kayla was last seen around 10:20 in the morning on the 6th in Randolph County, Missouri. Her disappearance quickly turned into a homicide investigation after authorities located her abandoned vehicle during the early stages of the search, helping investigators reconstruct her final movements. Initially, a juvenile whose identity has not been publicly released was arrested, but authorities ended up arresting 3 additional suspects in connection with the case: Elena Mason, Christopher Hall, and Hunter Ames. In a probable cause affidavit,
So yes, so this is something I found I thought was interesting. It's giving us a little backstory to this and what's going on now. But I also found another one that I think I'm gonna let me see if I can find it again. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Bring this down here so I can see. Okay. Yeah, I get to look at that pretty screen of my flower up there. I think it's this one right here. Hold on, let me bring that back. I think it's this one. Why can't we hear her?
In Columbia, Missouri. Friends and family often called her Kayla Bug, and she was a sophomore at Moberly High School who loved track, basketball, animals, and being at her church's youth group. She was just a normal teenager with her whole life ahead of her. But on May 6th of 2026, Kayla suddenly disappeared. She was last seen with her 17-year-old boyfriend before disappearing without a trace. When she failed to report home, her parents reported her as missing and a massive search effort began. For days, volunteers, law enforcement, drones, and boats searched the Rudolph Bennett Conservation Area hoping to find Kayla alive. As investigators were digging deeper into this case, they discovered a disturbing timeline. The day before Kayla disappeared around 3 a.m., 20-year-old Elena Mason and her 26-year-old brother Julian poured motor oil into Kayla's gas tank so that her car wouldn't work. Elena is the older half-sister of Kayla's 17-year-old boyfriend, and investigators were trying to figure out why they were targeting Kayla in the first place. It's alleged that Kayla walked in on her 17-year-old boyfriend having an inappropriate relationship with his 20-year-old half-sister Elena.
Yes, so that's what came out. He was caught by Kayla having an inappropriate relationship with his sister, and they try to silence her. So what we know is that the timeline of Kayla's disappearance and her passing is still being pieced together through court records, police statements, and local reportings and investigators. So Huff was reported missing by her parents on May 6th. Public accounts differ on the exact time she was last seen. Some say she was last seen at 7 a.m., 10 a.m., but at the end of the day, the boyfriend has something to do with it. And she trusted him. This is this friend or foe. We have to be careful. It is okay to be by yourself. It is okay. So now she was seen walking with her 17-year-old boyfriend. I wish we don't know his name because he's underage, but it's weird. We know hers. But anyway, so Kayla's car was last found abandoned on Rowland Street in Moberly in front of Assembly of God's Church. As you heard, they put something inside of her tank. Car didn't work. The car broke down. So according to probable cause statements summarized by Central Mo Info, investigators allege that at least 2 suspects, Elena and Julian Mason, had gone to Kayla's vehicle around 3 a.m. the day before she disappeared and poured that motor oil in her fuel tank. Court filings also describe surveillance videos showing the 17-year-old arriving at Elena Mason's residence around 10:34 a.m. But my thing is, this is how crazy people think. Did they think it wasn't going to come out because she's gone? Look, now the whole world knows, and the poor baby's life has been taken from her, and everybody knows that you were having inappropriate relations with your sister. The video shows 17-year-old suspect Mason residence at 10:57 a.m. when he gets back into the driver's seat and a woman matching Mason's description enters the passenger seat. Around 12:25, prosecutors allege Mason called a witness and says she and the 17-year-old had kidnapped, assaulted, and used a weapon on poor Kayla. So this poor girl didn't see it coming. She didn't see it coming. So by the afternoon of May 6th, the sheriff's department got wind of this, but now she's missing. So over the next week, Kayla's family, school staff, volunteers, they begin their search for this young lady. So May 5th, probable cause statement summarized in local reportings. News suspect went to Kayla's vehicle, as I mentioned. On the 6th, Kayla was last seen with her boyfriend, as we know. May 7th, Elena Mason was detained during an investigation and placed in handcuffs in front of her family and friends. That's it. That's all she got. She allegedly stole the vehicle and fled. The vehicle was recovered the same day, and Mason was found with damaged and cut handcuffs. She literally fled, you guys, with the handcuffs on and everything. Well, how big is this town? It had to be a really small town. So May 8th, a 17-year-old from Colombia was arrested in connection with Kayla's disappearance. The first large-scale search efforts were underway at the Rudolph Bennett Conservation Area. The search for Kayla continued on May 9th. A private pilot two-seat helicopter arrived that morning, and flew search pattern at the family's direction. So they actually went wherever the parents said that they thought she may have been. I wonder if that's expensive to have to get those to come and do this. So on May 10th, 350 people were searching for Kayla. Kayla's family announced a reward of $1,000. That's so sad. That's so sad. On May 12th, $1,000. Wow. They do GoFundMe's for all types of foolishness. I saw somebody do a GoFundMe for a cat, to take the cat to the vet, and they can't do a GoFundMe for this type of things. I don't know. On May 13th, prosecutors filed kidnapping charges against Elena Mason, Hunter Ames, Christopher Hall. That's these people right here. Where are they? I got them, their pictures. That's these evil people. Are you guys seeing this? Are you seeing something else? Hold on. Let me see. Let me make sure. Yeah, you guys are seeing it. So that happened on the 13th. So by May 15th, first-degree murder charges were filed against Elena Mason and Hunter Ames. Julian Mason had first-degree kidnapping added to his existing charges. On May 16th, Mobley community members gathered for a candlelight vigil for Kayla. Skylar Powell was charged with hindering prosecution on a felony. All 5 adults appeared at the courthouse. On May 20th, Kayla's celebration of life was held at the MACC Activity Center. What do you guys think about this? Drop a 1 in the chat if you guys have friends you trust, friends you've had for years. Always keep your eye open, halfway peeled. And it's unfortunate. It truly, truly is, but I do these type of cases now. I'm doing this because I want our young people not to be so blinded, and that everybody that rides in that car with you is not your friend. We've seen it so many times, in the hip hop world and music and all types of things. These people are being taken out by the people closest to them. So I'm going to actually do another video that I did find too, but let me see. Hold on, y'all. Let me see what I can find too. It was another video. Let's see what we got here. Bear with me. Here we go.
The affidavit alleges that on May 5th, so the day before Kayla vanished, intentionally took motor oil from the bed of an acquaintance's truck and then poured that motor oil into the fuel tank of Kayla's car. This was done in an effort to make it stop working, which, if you remember, her car was seen broken down on the side of the road. Mission accomplished. Surveillance footage and cell phone data allegedly placed the suspects near Kayla's residence at approximately 3 a.m. that morning. So they start planning on the day before she disappears. They grab motor oil from an acquaintance's truck. They then sneak over to Kayla's house at 3 in the morning. They start dumping this motor oil into her gas tank, knowing that once she leaves in the morning to go wherever she needed to go, her car was going to break down and she was going to be stranded and more than likely call her boyfriend for help. Hunter also told investigators that in the late morning hours of May 6th, the suspects woke him up and they started asking him for his pistol. They told him that they had someone in the trunk of a white Chevy Impala and they needed his pistol to, quote, take care of it. He allegedly allowed them to take his pistol and then they left in that same Chevy Impala. So let me just kind of break down the timeline for you. I mentioned how they go there at 3 in the morning, pour the oil into the car. Kayla leaves that morning, and then her car breaks down. We know that she's seen on surveillance cameras walking away with her 17-year-old boyfriend, and then at some point, off camera, I think you can read between the lines, she's abducted and placed into the Chevy.
Now, keep in mind what they said earlier. Her boyfriend was 17. His sister was 22 years old. So not only was there this, but it was also, she was going to go to jail no matter what. The sister was.
Impala into the trunk, or where maybe they in the back seat, they tied her up, who knows. They drive then over to Hunter's house and say, hey, we have someone in the back of the car, in the trunk of the vehicle, specifically. It was the trunk, sorry, not the back seat. We have someone in the trunk of the vehicle and we need to take care of them. Give us your gun. And he does. So then, Kayla was allegedly driven to the Rudolph Bennett Conservation Area, where the suspects reportedly dragged her from the trunk of the vehicle, physically assaulted her, beat her with a tactical telescoping baton, which is one of those batons that's like condensed down and you pull it and it becomes long, almost like sometimes what they use in different law enforcement arenas. Beat her with that severely, and then they shot her. 16 years old. Surveillance video from the east side of the Mason residence reportedly also corroborated Hunter's account of the group leaving once they grabbed his pistol and then later returning in that same.
Now, why did they need to put her through so much pain? Why? What was the purpose of torturing her? And the human mind, oh God. And they actually thought that they were going to get away with this. That's what kills me. It's like, when do we start thinking we can't win? You know, you got caught doing something you weren't supposed to be doing. The sister was having certain things I can't say. I'm live everywhere, so I gotta be careful. Sister was with her underage brother. Unfortunately, Kayla caught them. Why all this? Now the world knows, and you're in jail.
Chevy Impala. Following the search warrant, Hunter allegedly admitted to helping hide the weapons that were used in the attack, specifically the telescoping baton. And he said that he had the help of another co-defendant, and he hid these weapons on May 8th, so just a couple of days after the disappearance and murder. Now, this hearing, where all of this information came to light, it was jam-packed. About 50 people sardined themselves into the courtroom to support Kayla's family, and there were also several members of the Mason family present. As you can imagine, emotions were running extremely high, and according to the local news, one woman was so distraught during all of this that she actually confronted the sister, the 20-year-old sister, Elena, during this hearing, yelling, "Tell the truth! Tell the truth!" And it got so heated that she later had to be escorted out of the courtroom. Now, unfortunately, cameras are not allowed in the courtroom, so there's no footage of this that I can show you.
I will say all of this is allegedly, because authorities have not publicly identified a motive in Kayla's passing. So I'm getting this stuff from TikTok. So I've researched. There's nothing sound that says that she caught her boyfriend with his sister. But this is what's out there now. This is what the streets are saying. So who knows?
But after hearing that, you know me, I'm not a detective, but I am nosy. And it sent me down the rabbit hole because I knew.
Think about it. So if Kayla found her boyfriend with his sister, now we have these other four people. Let me pull up these other people that was also there and took part in this. So all these people knew what was going on. So we have Elena Mason in the right hand corner. We don't know Kayla's boyfriend's name because he was underaged. So they did not disclose his name. So we have Elena Mason, who is the sister that was with the boyfriend. So that means that Hunter knew, Christopher knew, Julian knew. So why do this to Kayla? This is why I don't know if this is the reason why. It just doesn't make sense to me. And when something doesn't make sense, it's not right to me. I don't know. Too many people knew. So they were able to get four people, unless they took, this is a really sick world out here. Anything could have happened. So let me get back to this one. Let's see what this lady is saying.
That I needed to know, what is the truth? Why is this person demanding?
Hey, party crasher, how are you? Long time no see. Hopefully you're doing great and everything is going wonderful in your life. Hope you're enjoying.
Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. It kind of reminds me almost of that movie, if you've ever seen it, My Sister's Keeper, where it's a horrifically sad movie. Actually, don't watch it if you haven't seen it. But the brother stands up in the courtroom and he's like, just say the truth. Say what this is really about. Where it's like, normally if you hear an outburst in a courtroom, it's something about you fucking asshole, you prick, how could you do this to my daughter? Or something like that. Very rarely do you hear someone demanding, tell the truth, over and over again, so much so that they have to be escorted out. So that sent me down the rabbit hole. I was like, I need to know what this truth is. What are they talking about? Because to be honest, after all of this, there still was not a publicly shared motive.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is a motive out there that is floating around that many people believe is the truth in all of this. And that the reason it has not been publicly shared is, again, because this is a case involving minors. Also, the sensitivity of it. But what I will say is this, and this is where we kind of get into form your own opinions, do your own research. As I was looking on social media, saying, okay, what are people sharing about this case? What are the theories? When this motive came up, time and time again, there were people in the comment sections identifying themselves as family members or extended family members of Kayla's, confirming it to be true. Now,
I don't know. I don't believe any of it. I could get near and say I was Kayla's cousin. I don't know. I just don't know if I'm believing that this is the reason why.
Does that mean these are real people? Does it mean it could be a stock account? It could be a fraud who's looking for attention. It could be anything. I don't know. But I saw it in enough places that it gives, in my opinion, a little bit of, legitimacy to the speculation. But again, it hasn't been publicly shared or confirmed yet, I believe, because of the sensitivity of it. So buckle up, because this is where it gets very disturbing. The affidavit.
I did read something that stated that it was could have been racially motivated. They said the racial dynamics of Kayla's case raised immediate questions about whether her passing could be a hate crime. There's so many scenarios out there, but truth be told, we'll never know. We will never know. I researched until I was sick to try to figure out something other than these TikTokers getting out here and saying what they heard in the TikTok streets. The legal process will eventually reveal more eventually. So for now, the motives remain unknown, and that unknown is part of the story. How the community is mourning Kayla and supporting her memory. So like I said, I started this series called Friend or Foe because of the Nolan Wells case. And just wanted our young people to know you can't trust nobody. It's unfortunate. The people you hang out with, the people that are at your house, the ones that you go out to the movies with, just keep your eyes open. 9 times out of 10, there's one person in that group that got their eye on you. and don't mean you well. So it's unfortunate. But, I just want to pray for Kayla and her family. God, I ask you to cover them, bring peace to them, and allow them to heal, Lord. And hopefully the truth will be revealed. In Jesus' name, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate